Om Shanti. Today we will hear the Murli dated 11th October 2020. This is the revised course of the Avyakt Murli with the original date 31st March 1986. The title of the Murli is The Year to Become Full of All Powers and to Attain Blessings. So, this Murli is very appropriate at this time, and this year is indeed the year to become full of all powers and attain blessings. So Baba will today tell us the way to become that. So let's listen to Baba's invaluable versions. Today, the master of all treasures is looking at his master children. He is seeing to what extent you children have become masters. The sanskars of being masters at this time make the elevated souls who are now the masters of all treasures and powers into the masters of the world in the future. So, we are all making effort to become masters of the world in future. But what is the key to becoming that? The key is to become the masters of all treasures and powers now. So Baba, our Father, is the treasure house. Baba is full of all powers and all treasures, and we, his children, have a right to his treasures and powers. And the more we fill ourselves with all his treasures and powers right now, then we move towards becoming masters of the world in the near future. So what did Baba see? So Baba was seeing how far we have become full. So what did Baba see? That all of you are children, and that all of you children have very deep love for just being Baba and I. So we have love, we have this feeling that I belong to Baba. It is only I and Baba that make my universe. All have the intoxication of being a child. But to be a master and a child. So Baba wants us to be a child and also a master. So yes, everybody is doing very well becoming a child. But what about becoming a master? So Baba says, but to be a master and a child means to become complete and equal to the Father. So the Father saw a difference between the stage of being a child and the stage of being a master. So yes, I belong to Baba, Baba belongs to me. The consciousness of being a child is great. But then what about the consciousness of being a master? That is, I am equal to Baba. Just like Baba is complete, I am also complete in all his treasures, in all his powers. So Baba says that not everybody felt that they are complete and equal to Baba. So Baba says, so this Father saw a difference between the stage of being a child and the stage of being a master. To be a master means that at every step you take for yourself and others, your stage is automatically that of perfection. So in the world, people say, I am perfect. But then when I am operating with you, I will not share whatever I have with you. So people in the world, when they become masters, they become very miserly. But Baba says, when you become masters like the Father, you are full within yourself and you are full in giving whenever you are with anybody. This is called being a master. That is a child and a master. The speciality of being a master is that to the extent you have the intoxication of being a master, to that extent, the sanskars of a world server will constantly be visible in you in an emerged form. So our fullness is reflected in our conduct as a world server. So when I'm full of Baba's treasures, then I'm always ready to give, ready to serve. So this is the sign of a spiritual master. So a master of Baba's treasure looks like this. To the extent you have the intoxication of being a master, you will simultaneously also have the intoxication of being a world server. The two will be equal. So, just like I feel I am the master of everything, I also feel very humble to share whatever I have been bestowed by Baba with all his children. So the sense of being a master and the sense of being a world server will be equal. This is what it means to be a master equal to the Father. So Baba saw the result as to whether both forms of the child and the master are constantly visible in action or only go as far as knowledge. So yes, everybody knows what a child looks like, what Baba's child and Baba's master of treasures would look like. But then does it reflect in our actions too? Or is it limited to only knowing? Baba was checking this. So Baba says there is a difference between knowledge and what is put into practice. Baba saw how some good children were equal to the father in their practical actions. So there are some children, and Baba is singing praise of those children who are practically equal to the father. Even now, some children are still in their childhood stage. With the spiritual intoxication of being a master, they do sometimes become stable in a powerful stage of being equal to the Father. However, at other times, they pass their time trying to stabilize in their stage. So some children just continue to be children, and sometimes they function as masters, they act as though they are also full of treasures, but at other times they are only seen struggling with it. All the children have the same elevated aim of becoming equal to the Father. Yes, is that true? You all have that aim, right? So Baba says the aim is powerful, but it now has to be put into thoughts, words, actions, relationships, and connections. So the aim is there. Now we have to think in accordance with the aim, speak in accordance with the aim, act, and whenever we come into relationship and connection, behave in accordance with the aim of becoming like Father. There is a difference in this. Some children remain stable in the stage of being equal to the extent of their thoughts. Some even stay in that stage in their thoughts and words. Sometimes they even reach the level of actions. However, when they come into relationships and connections, whether it is a relationship of service or even relationships with the family, the percentage reduces. Now you see, Baba is always full. Baba is always a giver. So sometimes we think as if I'm a giver. Sometimes we speak that language. Sometimes we even conduct ourselves as a giver with our own free will and choice. But when we come into relationships and connections, then when the other person in that relationship or connection, whether it is a relationship in the service field or in the family, there the effect of the other person's behavior has on the effect of the other person's behavior is such that I also stop being a giver. So as soon as the other person says, why should I give? I also start saying, why should I give? At that time, I forget that I do not have to behave like them. I have to be like the Father. So Baba says, when you come into relationships and connections, then the stage of being equal to the Father is sometimes not reflected in practical action. So Baba says, to become equal to the Father means to remain in the stage equal to the Father's in your thoughts, words, actions, and relationships at the same time. Some remain in this stage in 2 subjects and some in 3 subjects. But when it comes to staying in the stage in all the 4 subjects, that is in thought, words, actions, and relationships, they are sometimes one thing and sometimes another. So Bap Dada is always extremely loving towards the children. So now Baba says, because I'm loving towards you, the form of love is not just to let you meet the avyakt form in the corporeal form. So yes, it is because of love that I come to meet you in the corporeal form. But the form of love is also to make you equal. So Baba says, I just don't want to come and meet you only. I meet you, and that is an expression of my love. But also, I want you to be equal like me, and that is also my love. And when Baba wants us to be full of all powers and full of all treasures, then without putting that into practice or without applying our powers and treasures in an unfavorable environment, we will not be able to become equal to the Father. So Baba says, this is what I want you to become, and for that you have to pass the obstacles, the tests, and pay attention to building power. Now we have to understand here that when circumstances are favorable, we receive happiness. But when circumstances are unfavorable, that is the time to build power. And because Baba is the Almighty and He wants us to become equal to Him, so we must not have an adversarial relationship with unfavorable circumstances. We should know that it is Baba's hope that we become almighty, all powerful like Him, and we should pay attention to applying our powers in these situations and then making ourselves, making our stage equal to that of the Father. So Baba says, so the form of my love is also to make you equal. Some children think that Bab Dada is becoming free from attachment, that is, he's becoming detached, so he's not helping. But this is not becoming free from attachment, this is a special form of love. So, attachment makes you dependent. So, Baba doesn't want you to only become dependent, Baba wants you to become powerful in your own right. So, this is why Baba is teaching us how to deal with situations on our own, and Baba is not always extending the help we expect him to. Instead, he's guiding us how to empower ourselves. Bap Dada already told you earlier that there is now very little time left in terms of attainment over a long period of time. So, if you recall the Murli, which was spoken some 5 weeks back, so in that Murli, Baba said that from now on, after a certain time, after some months, that the period of less attainment will start. So if you begin accumulating your treasures from now, at the end you will have a full stock. And if you begin after some time, then the time won't be enough for accumulation. So this is why Baba says there is very little time left in terms of attainment over a long period of time. So in the end, we will require a stock of attainments in terms of virtues and powers and experiences which need to be built up over a long period of time. And if we start now, that time we will, by the time it is the end, we will have that stock. And if we start later, then we will not be able to catch up and build that stock which we will require at the end. So Baba says, this is why for the long period of time, Bab Dada is especially giving time to warm you children up with the tapasya of determination. That is, make you strong and mature. So Baba is saying, so we must gear up to become strong and mature. And for that we need tapasya, which is practice with determination. So if we want to build enough strength, then we need to start practicing with determination, applying these powers and virtues in situations and taking them from Baba, meditating enough to accumulate the treasures so that we are strong and mature until the end. In fact, you all had the thought for the Golden Jubilee that you would become equal, conquerors of obstacles and embodiments of solutions. So today, Baba is saying that this is the time to become equal, become conquerors of obstacles and embodiments of solutions. And in the Murli today, Baba will tell us the method to become that. All of those promises are noted by the Chitragupt form of the Father. So Baba also has an account book, and in that he has noted that children have made promises that they would become like the Father, they would become conquerors of obstacles, and they would become embodiments of solutions. Today as well, some children had a determined thought. To surrender means to make yourself mature with all attainments. So what is the true meaning of surrender? Surrender means to become like the Father, and becoming like the Father means becoming full of all attainments, all virtues, all powers, all experiences. To surrender means to become equal to the Father in all four, that is, thought, words, actions, and relationships. The letters you gave and the thoughts you have had have been recorded with Bab Dada for all time in the subtle region. Everyone's file is there in the subtle region. This thought of each one of you has become eternal. So now it is time for us to become an embodiment of what we promised. So Baba is saying this year, Bab Dada is giving you the time to make your every thought immortal and eternal with the tapasya of determination. To have a spiritual conversation with yourself again and again with the practice of determination. So, what is the way to become like Baba? So, when we sit and have a spiritual conversation with ourselves, conversation based on eternal truths that Baba has given us, the truth about ourselves, about the Father, about the future, about the time, about our original qualities and stage. So Baba says, when you have a spiritual conversation with yourself again and again, with the practice of determination, to make you have realization. So when you realize that this is the truth, and then act in your form of a reincarnation, and when you act as if this is not your body, you are reincarnated in it, that is, you have just taken this body as an instrument and are operating through it on Baba's directions, and make these stages permanent and strong. So when you just go on and on having a spiritual conversation, keep realizing the truths, practice realization, and practice being stable in the state that I am a reincarnated soul, then these stages become strong. Along with that, you specially have to increase your account of accumulating the power of pure thoughts. There is now a greater need to experience the power of pure thoughts by becoming even more introverted. So go within, withdraw yourself from the sense organs, just go within, sit in the cave of introversion, and take a pure thought. What is a pure thought? Thoughts that Baba gave us when he came from the soul world. You are a soul. Your virtues are purity and peace. You are a divine soul, or you belong to the Almighty. You're the Master Almighty. These are a few examples of pure thoughts. And when you sit in introversion and reflect on these pure thoughts, keep having a spiritual conversation with yourself, create a realization out of these pure thoughts, then these pure thoughts these pure thoughts generate a power within you. So they convert from a thought to a power when you reflect on them in the cave of introversion. With the power of pure thoughts, you can easily finish your waste thoughts. And with your good wishes and pure feelings, you can bring about transformation in others. So when our own stage is powerful, then we can also have good wishes and pure feelings for others, and then we can help them transform as well. The special experience of the power of pure thoughts will now easily finish all waste thoughts. Not just finish your waste thoughts, but with your good wishes and pure feelings, your pure thoughts can bring about transformation in others too. There is now a great need to accumulate a stock of these pure thoughts for yourself. You love to hear the Murli very much. Murli means treasure. To accumulate every point of the Murli as a power is to increase the power of pure thoughts. Use this at every moment as a power. So just recall a point of the Murli and use it as a power to create a stage which enables you to deal with external stuff. So Baba says, you now have to pay special attention to this speciality. The more you now continue to experience the importance of pure thoughts, the more easily you will become experienced in serving through your mind. So, when the mind is full of pure, powerful thoughts, then the mind is very powerful. And then the mind becomes an instrument to generate pure thoughts and good feelings for others. And it becomes an instrument for serving others through the mind. First of all, you need to accumulate the power of pure thoughts for yourself, and you then become world benefactor and world transformer souls with the Father. The huge task of transforming the world with the power of pure thoughts still remains to be done. At present, Father Brahma, having become one with an Avyakt form, is now sustaining all of you with the power of pure thoughts. He is cooperating with you for the growth of service and making you move forward. This is the special service taking place with the power of pure thoughts. So become like Father Brahma and increase this speciality in yourself. For you now have to practice this in the form of tapasya. Tapasya means to practice with determination. Anything ordinary would not be called tapasya. And so Baba is now giving you time for doing tapasya. So this is the time for tapasya. And why is this the time for tapasya? So Baba says, why is he giving it at this time? Because this time will be accumulated in your account of a long period of time. So if you start now, then your tapasya will be the tapasya for a long period of time. If you start a little later, it will go into the account of tapasya for a short period of time. Because time will become shorter. Bapdada is instrumental in enabling everyone to experience attainment for a long period of time. And Bapdada wants to make all the children have a right to the fortune of a kingdom over a long period of time. So Baba wants us to have enough stock at the end, and Baba wants us to have a right to the kingdom for a long period of time. This is why Baba is calling out to us to start tapasya right now. Tapasya is practicing with determination. And Baba is giving us the aim for tapasya, which is becoming like the Father, accumulating the power of pure thoughts in such a measure that we have enough power to serve others and do mansa seva. So Baba says, so the time for a long period of time is very short. Therefore, in order for you to practice everything in the form of tapasya, Baba is giving you the special time. And everyone got a special time, right? Don't you think we received a very special time for tapasya this time? Because such a time is to come when all of you will have to become bestowers and bestowers of blessings and give everyone these in a short time. So soon the time to accumulate will be over and the time to share will begin. And then, if we don't have enough stock, we will repent. So start accumulating from now. So Baba is giving you time to make your account of all treasures full. Another thing, so this was about becoming like Baba. Now about becoming the destroyer of obstacles and becoming an embodiment of solutions. So Baba says, another thing, you promised to become destroyers of obstacles and embodiments of solutions. So let there be especially determined thoughts and the determination to become destroyers of obstacles for yourselves and for others. So do you have this thought that I want to become the destroyer of obstacles for myself and others? Because you can only become a destroyer of obstacles if you are not resisting obstacles. So, if I have this aim, then I look at obstacles as an opportunity. Just like, when you play that race where you see hurdles and then you see how far you can jump, and that hurdle becomes a test for your muscular strength. And so when you aim at becoming the destroyer of obstacles for yourself and others, then you don't resist obstacles. They look like an opportunity for you to build your inner strength. So Baba says, let it not just be in thoughts, but also become that practically. So this year, Bab Dada is giving an extra chance, and definitely this year, lot of obstacles, so there is extra chance for us to build our spiritual muscle. Whoever wants to claim this special chance to become a destroyer of obstacles can take it this year. This year has a special blessing. However, in order to claim this special attention to two things. So if you want to claim the blessing of being a destroyer of obstacles, then you have to pay attention to two things. So pay attention to the two things you have to pay attention to. So first, be a constant bestower, equal to the Father, and do not have any expectation of receiving. Let it not be that you feel you will be loving when you receive regard or love, or that you will give regard when you receive regard. No. I have to be a child of the bestower and give. I must not have any expectation of receiving. So this is the time for me to give, and give, because it is by giving that I'll become like the Father, not by receiving. So let me have the aim of being a giver. Let me pay attention. Whose child am I? My quality is to give. Let me not expect to receive in any situation. While performing elevated actions, I must not have any expectation of receiving anything in return. So even when I'm serving, I'm performing elevated actions, I do not have the expectation of receiving anything in return. The fruit of elevated actions is elevated anyway. I must not, so you have this knowledge, but do not have this thought at the time of doing. So yes, if you do good, you receive good, but if you have the thought of receiving while doing good, then that good is no longer good. So Baba says you have the knowledge that If you are a bestower, you will receive equally, but don't give with that thought. So, firstly, in order to be worthy of claiming blessings, constantly be a bestower. And secondly, be a destroyer of obstacles. So, especially pay attention to the power of accommodation. So, firstly, remember I am the child of the giver, I have to give. And secondly, I am the child of the ocean of the power of accommodation. So, I also have enough power of accommodation, and I do not resist any behavior, any differences in the qualities of souls, or any situation. I know I can accommodate whatever comes my way. The power to accommodate is also essential for oneself. So I can also accommodate the variety of sanskars that emerge from within me. You are children of the ocean, and the speciality of an ocean is to accommodate. Only those who have the power to accommodate will be able to have good wishes and benevolent feelings. So only when you can rise above whatever differences there are in how you expect someone to be and how they are, that is, you can accommodate all that is different from you, then you can emerge the feelings of good wishes and regard and love for everyone and everything. Therefore, to be a bestower, be an ocean, an embodiment of the power to accommodate. Always put these two specialities in every action. What are the two specialities? I am the giver, I have to give, and I can accommodate everyone and everything because I'm the child of the ocean, and the ocean accommodates. Sometimes some children say that they thought they would do that, but when it came to doing it, something changed. So this year, you especially have to practice bringing about equality in all four subjects at the same time. That is thought, words, actions, and relationships. Do you understand? So you are being given time to imbibe the sanskars of accumulating your treasures and to become bestowers and bestow in a natural way. So you are being given a chance to fix your number for all time in becoming destroyers of obstacles and making others this too. No matter what happens, do tapasya yourself and cooperate in finishing the obstacles of others. How do you cooperate in finishing the obstacles of others? A, by not adding to their obstacles, and B, by giving them the strength to face their obstacles by being an embodiment of destroyer of obstacles yourself. No matter how much you have to bow down, this bowing down is to swing constantly in swings. People continue to rock Shri Krishna with so much love. Similarly, the Father is rocking you children in the cradle of his lap. In the future, you will swing in swings studded with jewels, and you will be worthy of worship and will be swung in swings on the path of devotion. So to bow down and to die is greatness. So if you bow down now, then you become eligible to swing in swings. So Baba says, why should I bow down? The other person should bow down. Do not consider yourself to be inferior in this. So to bow down is greatness. It is not about being inferior. This bowing down is greatness. This dying is not dying, but living with eternal attainment. Therefore, constantly be a destroyer of obstacles and also make others this. Anyone who wants to claim a chance to come in the first division can do so. So there is equal opportunity for all. Whoever takes the opportunity by practicing being a giver and practicing the power of accommodation, they will take the chance and come in the first division. Babdada is telling you the importance of this special time for taking a chance. So do tapasya knowing the importance of this time. Thirdly, according to the time, to the extent that the atmosphere of peacelessness and upheaval is increasing, so the line of your intellect has to be very clear. Because the force of negativity, the force of waste, the force of turbulence outside will pull you in the wrong direction. So if the line of your intellect is not very clear, you will be pulled by other forces and not pulled by Baba. So Baba says because the two powers of touching and catching are very necessary. Firstly, you must be able to catch Babdada's directions with your intellect. If the line is not clear, then the dictates of your own mind will also be mixed with Babdada's directions. Then, because of them being mixed, you will be deceived at that time. So, you will only be able to know what Baba is saying if you have practiced enough to listen and not listen, to see and not see, to be there and yet not be affected by the environment. So, if you have not practiced that, then your own sanskars, which are getting triggered because of the environment outside, will start intervening with the wisdom that Baba has given you. The clearer your intellect is, the more clearly you will be able to catch Babdada's directions. The clearer the line of your intellect is, the more easily the powers for yourself, for growth of service, and for being a bestower and giving to others will easily continue to increase, because Babdada always gives us directions and power to uplift ourselves so that the service gets increased, and so that others also become powerful. And if we are operating in this direction, that means we are being touched by Baba. Otherwise, there is a lot of our own dictates mixed in that. You will have a touching at that time. This is the accurate method for serving a particular souls and the accurate method for self-progress. So at present, both these powers are most essential, touching and catching. In order to increase them, how you increase these powers? You have to become one who is economical and belongs to one. Belongs to one means ek nami, belonging to one, and then economy. So you have to practice these two things to increase your touching and catching power. Ek nami, that is, I belong to the one Baba. And when you practice this, then you will be detached from the pulls of everything else. And when you are economical, you will be free from the pulls of the burden of waste. When we waste time, thought, energy, money, effort, anything, then that wastage creates a burden which pulls us at the end. So practicing economy and economy will help us have a clear intellect, clear line, and then we will be touched by Baba. So Baba says, so you belong to the one Father and none other. Attachment to others is something else. Attachment is wrong anyway. But the influence of the nature of others causes upheaval in your own stage. The sanskars of others create conflict in your intellect. At that time, and how do these sanskars affect us? When you think they are yours and you belong to them. But when you practice belonging to one Baba, then nobody else's sanskars are able to affect you because you don't identify with them. So Baba says, at that time, do you have the father or some sanskars in your intellect? Even if the intellect is influenced by attachment or conflict, the line of the intellect must be constantly clear. To belong to the one Father and none other is to be constantly with the one. So do not be attached or do not come into conflict with anybody. And we do all this when we think we belong to them, when we identify with them. And when I only belong to the one Father, then I don't experience conflict or I don't experience attachment with other people, and then they are not able to pull my intellect. So Baba says, what is economy? Just saving physical wealth is not economy. That is also necessary, but time, thoughts, and powers are also wealth. And there has to be economy in all of these because wastage creates a burden which pulls us at the end. So don't waste time, don't waste energy, don't waste powers, don't waste money. Do not waste them. To be economical means to increase your account of accumulation. Those who have the sanskars of economy and economy will be able to experience both powers of touching and catching. You won't be able to experience these at the time of destruction. This practice is needed at this time. So only when you have this practice will you be able to receive this touching and catching power at the end. Only by having this practice will you will be able to receive elevated directions and liberation at the right time. You might think that there is still some time before destruction. Okay, it might even be 10 years. But if you try to make this effort after 10 years, you won't be able to. No matter how much you try, you won't be able to make it. You will become weak. And your end will then pass by in battling, not in being successful. You are not going to become silver aged, are you? Because in the picture of the silver aged rulers, we show a bow and arrow, which stands for battling. And in the picture of the golden aged deities, we show a flute. So Krishna is shown a flute, which is the symbol of dancing in joy. So Baba says, to labor means to have a bow and arrow. To be constantly lost in love and to stay in happiness means to become a Murli dhar, that is one with a flute. To become part of the Sun dynasty. A Murli makes you dance, whereas a bow and arrow makes you labor in trying to hit the target. So you mustn't become one with a bow and arrow, but one with a flute. Therefore, do not complain at the end and ask for more and more extra time. So Baba says, I won't be able to give you extra time. So there are children who don't study and then at the end they ask the teacher for extra time. So Baba is warning us. So that won't be possible. Give us a chance, have mercy. This will not do. This is why Baba is telling you in advance. Whether you have come at the end or at the beginning, according to the time, it is time for everyone to reach the last stage. So you have to move at a fast speed. Do you understand? Acha. To all the loving children everywhere, to the children seated on Baba's heart throne, to the children who show contentment, to the children who always have the personality of happiness, to those who always have broad and unlimited hearts, the one who imbibe with unlimited and broad intellects, to the unlimited souls, Babdada's love-filled remembrance and namaste. The children also wish Babdada heartfelt love, remembrance and namaste. Om Shanti. Blessing. May you be a conqueror of Maya and a conqueror of the world and transform your enemies, the five vices, and make them cooperative. So today Baba is giving us directions how to transform our vices. Now, it is very interesting, and Baba gives us what vice to change into what. So you reflect on the blessing today and if possible, share your reflections. So Baba is saying a victorious person definitely transforms the form of his enemy. So you also transform your enemies, the vices, and you make them into their cooperative form so that they will always continue to bow down to you. Transform the vice of lust into good wishes, anger into spiritual intoxication, greed into being beyond temptation, attachment into love, and arrogance of the body into self-respect. And you will become a conqueror of Maya and a conqueror of the world. Slogan: the consciousness of mine is the alloy mixed into real gold. So we souls are real gold, and the alloy mixed in us is the consciousness of mine, which reduces its value. Therefore, finish any consciousness of mine. Acha. Om Shanti.